Hey there, I am Bryn Bamber and I am a student core energetics practitioner. And in today's mini training, we are going to talk about shame. So shame is something that I have struggled with a lot. And I imagine if you're here, you have struggled with it as well. And so I wanted to share some very practical, tangible things you can do to help shame move through your body so you can come out on the other side of it. So the first time I remember feeling ashamed was when I was about 5 years old. We went to the grocery store and I stole a package of Tic Tacs successfully. And then when I got home, I went into my room and I came back out and I said, Mom, look what the Tooth Fairy gave me for being good. And my mom pretty quickly put together what had happened and brought me back to the store and had me apologize to the manager and pay for the Tic Tacs with my allowance. And it was a pretty intense experience for me, and what I remember is every time after that we went to that particular grocery store, I would feel a huge sense of shame. I would feel like everyone remembered me, they knew I was the bad kid, the kid that had stole the Tic Tacs, and that the employees there were looking at me and thinking that I was bad. And so it started early for me, and since then it's really been a part of my life. Often if I make a mistake at work, it'll come up, and mistakes in my personal life, in my friendships, in my romantic relationships, it comes up every time there's a mistake that I have made. Now I have, through experiencing all this shame, learned some techniques that can help you to get to the other side of it. So my experience is that I haven't found a way to make it go away. I haven't found a way to make it stop coming up. But what I have found is ways to kind of have it move through my system a little bit faster. So the first step is to simply feel the shame in your body. So you take a few deep breaths and you notice where you feel it in your body. So you might have a rush of heat around your face, head, neck, face. You might have nausea or a pit in your stomach. Your chest might feel tight. You might feel like a heaviness, a numbness. So instead of resisting these painful, unpleasant, uncomfortable feelings, I want you to invite them into your body as best you can. And I want to say I get it, this is not fun, and I can relate to wanting to run away or wanting to make it go away. And my experience is the best way to move through it is to actually accept it. So notice where it is in your body, and then on your inhale, welcome it into your body. And on the exhale, relax as much as you can. So inhaling, welcoming in the nausea, the pain, the discomfort, the heat, the pit, whatever you're feeling. And then as you exhale, relax as much as you can. And you might not be able to relax 100%, and that's totally a typical experience for this exercise. So to really feel this, one of the best ways I found is to go on a walk. If I'm sitting, it's hard for me to just sit with it. You know, part of me wants to grab my phone or turn on YouTube or call somebody or text or anything to kind of just get away from it because it's so uncomfortable. And so I have found it's helpful to go on a walk and just breathe it in, breathe it out as I'm on the walk. And to kind of set a time limit. So maybe I'm going to walk for 10 minutes and then walk home. Or walk for 15 minutes and then walk home. So I'm not just staying with these uncomfortable feelings forever, but I am setting aside 20 minutes or 30 minutes to really allow myself to feel them as best I can. Then the next step, after you've taken some time to feel them, you've noticed that these feelings of shame are not going to kill you as much as you think they might. The next step is to write down all of your thoughts. So my preference for this is to do it with pen and paper. If I am in a tight space and I don't have any pen and paper, I'll do it on a note on my phone, but just write down all of the thoughts that are coming up for you. So you fucked up, you made a mistake, they're not going to like you, they're going to be mad, you're going to get fired, you're a bad person, you made the mistake on purpose, you meant to hurt those people, you meant to do that. Whatever terrible thoughts are coming up, write them all down. See if you can write continuously for several minutes without even taking your hand off the paper. And you might kind of repeat the same thing in different words, and that's fine. Just like get it out as much as you can. So write everything down, get it all out on paper. And one of the advantages of getting it out of your brain and onto the paper is you can have a tiny bit of perspective. Some of the thoughts maybe are believable to you, but my experience is that some of the thoughts are going to be like, whoa, okay, that's not true. For me, I often have this thought like, you meant to do it, you meant to hurt them, you meant to mess it up. And it's like, I mean, yes, I did make a mistake and maybe someone was inconvenienced or maybe someone was hurt. But one of the things I know about myself is that my intentions were good, even in the times when I have made a mistake and someone has gotten hurt. The vast majority of times, my intentions are good. So it's like, yeah, I made a mistake and I can own that, but my intentions were good. So getting the thoughts out just gives you a little bit of perspective. It gives you a little bit of breathing room for them, and it lets you see that some of them are really out in left field. Now, the third step when you're dealing with shame is to tell someone that you trust what happened. So, of course, you don't want to tell everyone, and you don't want to tell someone who's going to shame you for what you did. So, the person that you tell needs to be someone that has earned your trust. It could be your therapist or some sort of healthcare provider or healer, and it could be a good friend, a good family member, someone who you know when you tell them they're going to be able to listen. Ideally, they're not going to try and fix it, but they're going to hear you and say, you know, that sucks. That really sucks. And maybe they're able to say, I've been there. So I learned this final technique from Brené Brown, who is a shame and vulnerability researcher and is totally amazing. I highly recommend her TED Talks. And she teaches that shame cannot survive in the light. Shame grows and festers when we keep it in secret. And when we let it into the light, that is when it cannot survive. So it cannot survive empathy. It cannot survive when you tell a good friend and they hear you and they understand what you're going through. So this is a really important step on moving through shame. So those are the 3 steps you need to take. I'll recap briefly. Step 1 is to feel the shame. This is important because you need to let it move through your system. If you push it down, it's going to get stuck and maybe come up at another time. If you numb it out by Facebooking or Instagramming or Netflixing or drinking or smoking or whatever your preferred numbing agent, busyness, overworking, it's not going to move through your system. It's going to come up later. Number 2 is to write all of the thoughts down. Get them out onto paper so that you have a little bit of perspective from them and you're not fully still stuck with them in your head. And you can choose not to believe some of the thoughts, because I suspect some of the thoughts will be really crazy and unhealthy if your brain is anything like my brain. And then the 3rd step is to tell someone you trust. And of course, healing shame is not totally linear. It's not like if you do these steps, bam, 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 the shame will be gone totally forever. But it might be. And it'll be in a better place if you do these 3 steps. It'll lessen, the grip of the shame will loosen and give you a little bit of space so you can continue to live your life and continue to work on it. And if you feel like you need some extra support with this, if you feel like this is really a challenging situation for you, I want to invite you to do a trial core energetic session with me, and we can look specifically at your situation, at how shame manifests for you in your body, and work on moving that through your body to give you a sense of relief. So the trial sessions are 55 minutes. It's totally private. It's all about you. My roommate's cat is like shaking his bell. I don't know if you guys can hear that. And the session will look at your specific situation and do some body-centered techniques to help you metabolize the shame if you haven't been able to fully metabolize it yet, and give you some tools so you can move through it, so you can get some relief. The investment for these sessions is $30. So if you want to book a session, try it out, see if this kind of work resonates with you, works for you and your particular kind of shame, you can email me at bryn@brynbamber.com. So that's BRYN at BAM as in mother, B as in Bob, ER.com. And I get it. I have fully been there. I have been in my share of shame spiral. So if you're there right now, my heart goes out to you. I know this is painful and uncomfortable and really difficult. And so please, please try these 3 steps. Give yourself some relief, and if you need some additional support, send me an email and we can find a way to work together. The Trial Core Energetic Sessions either happen in person in the West End of Toronto, or if you're not in the Toronto area, we can do the session online. So keep taking care of yourself. Keep letting the feeling of shame in, as painful as it is, and tell someone you trust. Talk to a friend. Get some support with this. You don't have to go through this alone. And in fact, the cure is to get some support from a good friend or someone that you trust. Okay, take good care of yourself. Bye.